to the RunnerX podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running. Today I wanted to talk about, are you shoulding on yourself? I know that's a play on words, but let's think about it for a second, shall we? When I say, are you shoulding on yourself? When you go out for a run, do you think to yourself, I should have run farther? I should have done more. I should have maybe trained harder for that race. And when you do that, how does that make you feel? Because that has a real impact on your running and on your ability to meet your goals, whether it's a time goal or a weight goal or just a general health goal. We have a tendency to come up with the shoulda, woulda, couldas, right? And we've all heard about it in other aspects of our life. Maybe you heard it from your parent. Maybe you've said it to your child. Maybe you've heard it from a teacher. That idea of, I should have studied more. I would have done better if I'd known. I could have done more if I'd taken the time to really think about it. This is how we basically hold ourselves back from achieving what we are capable of doing. And what I'm going to say to you is, would you take that from a friend? If you had a running buddy that every time you guys went out and run, let's say you just felt great. You did 3 miles. You felt fantastic. It felt light. You felt great. And all they kept saying was, well, if it felt so good, you should have done more. You should have gone faster. You should have gone harder. You should have, right? It's not a great feeling. And you probably wouldn't take you long till you get to the point where you're like, I'm not going to run with that person anymore, because it doesn't matter if I'm doing well or I'm doing poorly. I'm never good enough, right? I'm never achieving this level that they think I should be achieving. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be challenged, okay? That's what a great coach does. A great coach kind of sees in you what you can't see in yourself and challenges you to do more. But they don't do it in such a way that makes you feel like you're being should on, okay? And you can tell this if you're feeling this way about your friends, if you're feeling this way about your workouts, if you're feeling this way about who you hang around. So my challenge to you is, look at how you're talking to yourself. Look at how you're talking to your running friends. Look at how you're talking about your training. And if you're constantly using the shouldas, the wouldas, and couldas, stop it. Stop doing that to yourself. Back off and be grateful with where you are today, what you're doing today, and how you did today. Valerie mentioned this in a recent workout that I thought was so fantastic. And she referenced it with the idea of CrossFit, but I see it in any of the training that we do. When you're lifting weights, when you're doing CrossFit, when you're running, when you're doing anything that's challenging you, you need to do the best you can do on that day. Remember the 4 agreements? You do your very best that day. And maybe your very best that day is lifting a full barbell that has 15-pound weights on it, right? So you're lifting 30 pounds. And maybe the next day, for whatever reason, maybe you didn't wake up right. Maybe you have a lot on your mind. For some reason, you just can't lift that 30 pounds. So you don't get mad at yourself and say, well, I have to lift 30 pounds because I lifted 30 pounds yesterday. No, the idea is you do what you can do. Maybe today is only 10 pounds, 20 pound total. Maybe it's only 10 pounds with 5 pounds total. You do what you can do, because if you keep trying to best your best effort every single day, you're going to burn out, right? If you keep telling yourself, I should have been better, I should have done harder, you're not going to achieve your goals because you're burning yourself out and you're not letting your body naturally take the ebbs and flows of how we grow, how our muscles work, how our brains relearn what we're doing, okay? So for this week, I want you to look at that self-talk and see if you're shooting on yourself. And if you are, I want you to back off of that and ask yourself, would you want to be a friend with that? And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRx podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.